Hi and welcome to this episode of Review and Analysis of. In this episode we will look at the Danish construction market web shop called excelbyg.dk. Now I'm gonna make an excuse for the sound quality. It is not as good as it normally is. I'm sitting outside without a mouse, but just thought it was time to get a new episode online. So the quality might not be what I normally expect, but at least the content itself should be quite good. I'm from the company Jabber.com, which is a company that does outsourcing. We also help with a lot of optimization of especially e-commerce stores. So we are experts in this area. And in this episode, we will look at Excelbyg and how they perform in a range of, for instance, speed test, SEO, conversion rate optimization, and a lot of all the small things. So let's start already and look at the website here. When you land here, it's pretty good. They have many good things. There's actually a lot of good things that you have to notice already. The menu is pretty good. There's a lot of different ones. It's good to split the SEO down. They have a great menu that works fine. They have also a good way to sign up for newsletters. They have very good customer service, and they have the information regarding cookies. They have a lot of things that is really doing a good job. So I would say just from the front page itself, it's actually a really impressive master page for the website. Looking into details, I want to start with the speed test because that was kind of interesting. If we look here on Pingdom, we can see that it takes 2 seconds to load, which is actually not that bad. I mean, it's faster than 71% of all websites. But this is not really showing the truth because the truth is much more problematic. 225 requests, it's a huge amount. Normally, I'd say if you get around above 100, it starts to get worried. Of course, you can't just look at requests and say this is a problem, this is too high. But just as a normal, guideline, 200 plus is completely crazy. Now, luckily, many of these are images and very small files, and it seems that some of them come from different plugins. I guess I just saw a Sleek Note here, for instance. And if you look these through, there's probably a lot of just third-party plugins, mean they are loaded asynchronously, but it's still a lot of requests, and I would definitely try to get those down. Then there is the big one here, which is the page size, which is completely crazy. 6.6 megabyte is insane. I would never go above 1.5 megabyte, maybe 2 megabyte at most. 6 megabyte is crazy. This is definitely something that has to go down a lot, especially for mobile. Which brings us to the next page here, which is the Google Insights. Mobile performs horrible. There is so much to do. There is so much that should be done. Again, the user experience is pretty good. I mean, it's a nice mobile site. It's a really good thing. Also, if you do this mobile version here, it looks really well. So conversion rate wise, I'm pretty sure they do a damn good job. But if you look into the actual implementation, both page speed wise and desktop and mobile, there's a lot of things that could be done. So that's definitely something I would look into if I had the opportunity to work with these here, because there's a lot of things that could be done. So that's worth noticing. Regarding SEO, I just said before they did a really good job with the menu, and what I mean by that is they split the SEO juice down on the subpages very well. If you look, for instance, here, Blækningssten, you will have 4 different menus that will get some juice from the site-wide links. So I would say that the SEO juice is being split very good. Now, looking at, for instance, a random subpage here, it gets a little bit, not worse, but there's opportunities for improvements. Now, the text here is, of course, very good. It's used for SEO. I would probably consider making it a little bit more useful than what you see here. But that is, right now, it's very much the SEO text. There is no really value in reading it. There is no pictures. There is no links to other pages. But of course, this is much better than 90% of all web shop because there is actual SEO text, and that's really good both for users but also definitely for ranks. What I would do is probably consider making some links, internal links, to give a much better internal link structure, but also adding some more, different kind of rich content such as images. But this is not really a big one because the content itself is actually pretty good, and it's optimized for SEO, so that's really good. And we have all these subcategories here, which very good internal links. That's also why they probably don't link up here because they have it down here, and that's also why it's not a big issue. So I would say this is working pretty well. But the more we click down, now we are in a subcategory again, and we will still have pretty good SEO text here, and we have filtering and price intervals. Again, this all pretty good, and we get to product page here. And Again, it's a good product page, a lot of different things. They have recommendations, which is very, very recommended, and not something I see in all web shops. They have a pretty good description again, a long one here and so forth. Technically, they also do a pretty good job. Let's see here, they have one H1, they even have the item prop name, which is great. The same is also the case for categories. They do not have multiple H1s, for instance. They have one. So that's also really promising to see that they actually do it. So SEO-wise, they definitely have some experts look at it, either themselves or someone else. Also, if you look at, for instance, just search for whatever. Let's just find a product. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like not the total biggest do-yourself guy. I'm the guy who actually gets people to do it instead. So I might not be the perfect relevant user for this, but we'll see. Again, the search here is also quite interesting. What is interesting here, if we look at the source, is also that it's using Noindex for the search results, and that's very good because not a lot of people do. So there's definitely been doing a lot of thoughts regarding the technical SEO here. Now, regarding the conversion rate optimization, there's a little bit more comments. Just a small thing, I would make this button a little bit bigger, but that's maybe being tested and shown to be good enough. Now, again, this is something I would look into a little bit else. This is where I think, actually, my experience tells we could probably actually improve the basket size at least 10%. That is, instead of having like a basket coming down like this, I would definitely try to make an upsell page. So when you put something into your basket, you get to another page and you get presented with a lot of recommendations, which is very interesting. Also, if you go to the basket here, we'll see something quite interesting. It's a nice basket, coded in ASP, which is worrying me, but we see no recommendations here, and that's a little bit interesting because having recommendations here is always very, very good. Then I normally make some comments about trust, and that is, of course, they have some very good trust elements out here. Problem is they're not visual, and people see with their eyes, not with they don't read. So I would definitely go for making this much more clear with some logos, recommendations. Now, the thing is, I assume the reason why they don't have a Trustpilot logo and actually trust reviews is because Trustpilot costs a lot of money. So I totally understand why this is the case. But then I've definitely make some graphic element myself, which shows some reviews, or just making these visual, because text never converts very well. At least this could of course be tested, and maybe I could be wrong here, but what I would definitely look into is making this much more visual. So let's start to make a purchase and see how the flow is. Again, this here, that ASP, is a little problematic because it shows that this is a very legacy code, and I'm pretty sure if you look at their IT department, they are worried about this checkout flow, and they won't touch it no matter what happens because it's so old. Unless maybe it's an iframe, I don't know. But at least normally when you see ASP in a checkout flow, it's because people are using legacy code. But no, it doesn't look like an iframe. It looks like it actually a real ASP form. And there's a form which actually posts to an ASP page. That's a little bit problematic technically. And as an advisor for IT departments, normally I would actually suggest this should be improved, because having ASP code in 2015 is a huge showstopper. It slows down development, and I never had any good experience with it. So that's at least one thing that is interesting. Then regarding here, let's try to see here the checkout flow itself. I'm gonna use my only phone. That's a little bit problematic. This is normally always found in all of the websites, so it's a little bit problematic. I'm just gonna say that I just try some address here. Just writing a random address. This is actually my phone, so you can call me. My private phone, I would not use this. I would use my company phone instead. You can always see more on java.com for the actual contact information. Anyway, this is like a one pretty good checkout here. We have this works pretty well. You can easily pick a different shipping address. Now, there is something here that's a little bit problematic, and that is this option here, I would say, is not that clear. I mean, there is a huge difference between Zennis and Auhintis, and they are very, 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 very big difference between them horizontally here. There's a lot of distance. And I would definitely look into showing these shipping methods in a different way, because the problem here is it's not very easy to see the consequence of making each decision here. And there's a lot of text here. There's a lot of text and very little visual help here. I would definitely make some kind of drop list here, which like Zennis, meaning you'll receive it in 2 days. And down here, Afhente, this means you can retrieve it in 3 days in the shop. So the consequence should be really, really simple because, I mean, the thing here is that they don't make any very big mistakes in this checkout flow here. It looks really well. The big problem is that the decisions I make are not very clear. Also, at this point here, I was like, 1 through 4? What the hell? This is something that worries me. I know that, of course, there's payment down here, but I don't see it when I'm looking here. That's, I mean, I would say that the checkout flow is pretty good, but it's not that. I have a lot of questions as a user. When is my order there? What date will I receive it? How do I receive it? When I buy very big wood, what happens? Does it come with Post Denmark? I guess not. Is it coming with? I mean, I have a lot of questions. Even though when I read this, I don't feel like I understand it totally yet. Then of course, I don't know what that is. This is something that the marketing department loves because that's something they do. But me as a user, I have no idea what this is. And also, why can't I click this? This is like so simple. But anyway, I click this one here, and again, don't use all capital. It never works really well. And wow, sure. Why just default this? Would make sense. Maybe also I would probably suggest trying to sign people up for an account if I click here or something, but I don't know. But I would say so far from this checkout here, I have a lot of questions about the order that is not answered here. So me as a question might actually leave to complete the purchase here because I have all these unanswered questions. But let's see what happens here. Audio order, I'm not sure that's the right text. I would definitely try to split test this one and say some other text like more like this means give an order. And no, I don't want to give an order. I want to purchase this. So I think that you should look into some different kind of wording on these buttons here. Now I would expect to go to a payment form. I don't know what happens right now. It's very slow at least. I get to quick pay. Also I can pay here. So yeah, to sum it up, I mean the checkout flow is actually pretty good, but there is a lot of unanswered questions, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to look into to improving it, at least from my experience. So what is there more to say? Well, to sum it up, they do a really good job. I mean, Excelbook is a very good shop. Technically, it seems to have a lot of challenges with a very slow website, very big page size. There's some problem with legacy code, it seems, which is probably solved by having, I would guess, an ASP.NET MVC site here. Maybe web forms. Let's just try to look in front of it here. Could be MVC, maybe. And then ASP checkout, which is probably some legacy they are about to convert right now. I'm going to do in the future. But so I said, technically, there's probably have a lot of things to improve. But there's also something a little bit with the conversion rate optimization. There's probably also some conversion rate on the categories, given to products I would improve on. There are some very interesting tests I would run myself, and there's especially the checkout flow. There's a lot of things I would check there, but in general, they do a really good job. So I would say definitely this has passed the test and is doing a really good job. So just to sum it up, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. If you ever need any help with both suggestions for the website, a more detailed report, or even help implementing all these things, we're always here to help. We are experts in converting old code to new code. We're experts in split tests. We're experts in this whole optimizing online web shops. We have done it for some of the biggest players in Denmark already. So we'll always welcome. We always love to help, and we think we do a really good job on it so far. So thanks for listening, and have a very good day.